The investor's chief problem, and even his worst enemy, is likely to be himself. This is a quote from Benjamin Graham, who wrote The Intelligent Investor. He's considered the father of value investing and financial analysis, and he was Warren Buffett's professor. In today's video, we're going to see what Father Ben meant, why we can be our own worst enemy when it comes to investing, and what we can do about it. Welcome to the RhinoInvestor.com educational series. Like and subscribe to charge along with us. The first thing we're going to look at is the roller coaster of emotions the average investor experiences through the ups and downs in the market. Investors start out normally with optimism when investing. It usually takes a little optimism to get started, right? Then, as the statements roll in and account balances are up, excitement sets in. And if we're going through a particularly strong bull market, that excitement turns collectively into thrill. And this is where you really start to see the volume in the stock market pick up steam. The investors who previously were not optimistic and didn't buy are now tired of hearing how much their neighbors are making in the market. Fear of missing out is strong in humans, and this is where and why we tend to see investors buying in at high prices. Markets can get what I call frothy, and euphoria is all around. Everybody's happy, the cocktail conversations wherever you go is about what stocks you own and how well you're doing. Everyone's an expert. This stage can last a while too, longer than is rational. Remember the dot-com years? Irrational exuberance and companies that were earning no money shoot straight to the moon? Well, as is the case, the party doesn't go on forever. Prices retreat and rationality starts to set in. The first thing the average investor will feel is denial. It's hard to admit the party is over, and a lot of us may have fallen in love with some of those stocks that made us a ton of money. As things gain speed on the downside, anxiety and fear kick in, and then depression. And right after all hope is abandoned, panic sets in, and this is where the volume in the stock market gets irrationally high again because everyone starts selling. We call that capitulation, throwing in the towel. Then despondency. And just like euphoria, this can last an irrationally long amount of time, unfortunately. Investors have collectively had their hearts broken, and no matter how much pundits tell them prices are the best they've ever been, it's just hard to trust again and buy. And you guessed it, as is the case, this sad state of affairs doesn't go on forever. Prices start to rise and rationality sets in. The first thing the average investor will feel is skepticism. A little more up, and yes, we even feel hope again. Whew, and finally relief. Yes, the market you knew and loved is back. Optimism is our friend again, and we finally buy back in. I feel like I've seen this movie too many times in 30 years. If you're not on the roller coaster, you may have seen it in action in others. And if you are on the roller coaster, how do you get off? The first step is understanding where you lie on the knowledge and emotion grid. And keep in mind, there is no better or worse. It's just a way to understand ourselves so we can make better investment decisions. We'll start with the instinctive group, high emotion and low knowledge. This group is the most impacted by that roller coaster. If this is you, you may benefit most from working with a partner or investment professional you trust that can manage your investments for you. On the right is the tactical investor, high emotion and high knowledge. This investor tends to want to do a lot of trading. They typically enjoy working with a financial advisor who can speak high level on markets and investing to help them with trading ideas, but also could use some assistance on making more decisions on knowledge and less on emotion to do better long term. The pragmatic investor is not swayed by emotions, but is low in knowledge. If this is you, you'll benefit most from researching markets and investments, or working with an advisor who is willing to spend time with you on that education. Typically, you're just missing some understanding of how markets and investment products work, and that knowledge can go a long way with you. Lastly, the prudent group has high knowledge and low emotion. These investors are the ones best suited to be self-directed if so inclined. In fact, the only time I have this group as a client is if he or she doesn't have the time to invest anymore, or they're concerned that their partner, who may be in the intuitive group, will be left in a lurch if something were to happen to them. So we're building up those blocks on a foundation of being a good investor, a rhino investor even. That first block was making sure you're invested the way you think you are, and to pick an allocation that aligns best with your goals and your personality. The second block today has us looking inward to find the best way forward. Are you more inclined to be self-directed, or would you benefit from help with a registered investment advisor? The last video in this series, the third block of the foundation, is learning the basic highlights of the most common and popular investment products. Even if you have a professional manage your money for you, some basic understanding in this area is a great benefit. Keep going to the type of investments video, and I'll see you there.